Hey, y'all. Well, episode 2, but first episode on video. Want to welcome you all for joining, and my name is Tam. Um, Today I am going to share with you just my thoughts for today, right? Like how I'm feeling. It's been an okay day so far. I woke up not feeling it. I was super tired. And then, like anything else, had to push through. I had a whole first audio podcast about that, pushing through regardless, right? There's power in the push. That's going to always be my motto. Um, Today, I had a old client of mine now, a good friend, slightly older than me, that sent me a session for a group therapy session today. And it's 12 to 1. There's a therapist called Dr. Tasha, that kind of gives back, right? On Mondays from 12 to 1, she does a group therapy. It was super dope. If you want to know more about it, message me or whatever the case is, put a comment under, and I'll get you the information. I thought it was very therapeutic, to be honest. Um, but it was like a large topic, right? Whatever she had set out to have the topic on kind of took a turn first and then came back. So sometimes what we may seek out to do may change depending on the environment. So I joined a little late because I was working, and she gave me an opportunity to speak, to introduce myself. And we kind of spoke about one of the things I describe myself is as a chameleon. And not that it's negative per se, but her evaluation of who I was as a person kind of spoke, volumes to that. That's really me. This is the first time I interacted with this lady. She doesn't know me from a pan account. She just know my name. It's Tamika, and I joined. Okay, so we talked about how I may have outgrown some spaces that I show up in, and if I'm ready to boss up, because I come in with boss energy, but speaking about me being a chameleon, it's like I'd rather be the wallpaper, like, in the background, just doing what I can, um, but not too much, not too loud. So my personality is really big, and I say it, but sometimes I think I forget. And life has kind of made me water myself down, right? And so she said that in so many words that I kind of turned my light down. That's exactly what it was. To show up in certain spaces so that people aren't offended by me, or that I don't take a certain tone. But my thoughts after listening to her and the things her and the other ladies poured into me is, why should I have to water me down? Right? Why? Like, there's a time and a place for everything, as we all should know. However, I do work in corporate America, for my 9 to 5, my main job for someone else. But I'm also a personal trainer and coach, right? I'm also a hairstylist. I'm also, excuse me, a writer. I'm a mom. I'm a wife. I'm a friend. I'm a daughter. I have so many hats that I wear, right? I'm a crafter. You name it, hey, I probably dabbled a little bit in it. If it's something positive, I'll say. Decorator, bartender. I can't think of all the names, but I do so many things. And in some places, I know based on how I may look, right? People may be like, oh, she got an attitude, or quote unquote, I asked a coworker last week, if you had one word to describe me, what would it be? She was like, resting B face. And I was like, well, hold on. That's not one word, but how is that a description that you would give for me? And the person next to her, I was like, what would be yours? And she was like, fierce, right? Fierce. And I was like, okay, I can do that. You know what I'm saying? They both align. And I was like, so that brings me back to, people's perception isn't always your truth. Just because you perceive a thing doesn't mean it's factual, but we have to be mindful depending on the room we step into, what perception we want to give off. I can't be responsible for how you may perceive me in a negative way if you're just negative Nancy, right? I come in with pure energy, a pure thought, pure intentions in any room I step in. If my energy is off, I'm usually aware. I want to say 9.9% of the time out of 10, not percent, but 9.9 out of 10, I'm aware because I already feel it. So I'm big on, hey, don't touch me because I don't want to shift what's going on with me to you. That's just who I am as a person. No pun intended to the other person, but I want to be mindful of what I give off. So working in corporate for about almost 10 years, different actual business, but same space, right? That I'm very mindful that I don't come off too strong or that I'm not perceived the same way so people can't link it to my performance or making an issue. So literally kind of want to share my thoughts on how I feel like just letting go of the labels other people put on you. And I know it's not just me. I know it's a thing and people don't like to talk about it. I'll even say at some point, one of my parents said, my problem is that I just don't care what people think. And I don't think that's supposed to be my problem to a certain extent, right? If people are perceiving me or taking my presence or what I say the wrong way, I need to self-evaluate. Absolutely. But over the years, I have, and I still do day to day, right? I want to make sure I'm giving off goodness, right? I don't want anybody to feel like I'm you know what I'm saying? Because that ain't the intent. But I want them to know I stand on business. I am who I am. I'm unapologetic about being a strong Black businesswoman, mother, wife, business owner, you know, all of those things. Like, I want to make sure when you see me, okay, she bossing up, she not gonna play about what she think or what she stand on. Business is business, right? Respect is respect. I respect those that respect others. Like, I'm never just coming at anybody. But kind of like I said, the title is letting go. Just letting go expectations of other people, being free to be yourself, because every day ain't promised, right? This is not a rant to speak about a higher power. My family is Christian. To each his own on your beliefs, but I believe in a higher power, Holy Spirit, God, Jah, Yahweh, all the names that people may have. But I was raised in a Christian home. My grandmother was a Christian. Rest in peace. So I just believe that I don't want anybody to ever feel that I'm giving off anything evil, anything that's not good, because I lean on God for everything. My faith is so strong in a way that when they say mustard seed faith, if you ever heard about it, like, I gotta make sure that I'm a reflection of good. I'm a reflection of God's child, right? And so let me step back. I cuss like a seller now. I'm working on it, but get my timing wrong, right? And I'll bless you in the end, okay? But just wanting to share with you guys, and even something that I share with my daughter today, let go of what people are trying to put on you, right? Don't let nobody trick you off the streets, trick you out your money. You determine your next step, right? You are the author to your own book. So yeah, we got to maneuver around certain changes in life, just like our government and things that are going on in the world. But make sure every day you're putting your best foot forward. You let go of the expectation that man may have of you, that woman, that job, and anything that hinders your personal growth with yourself. That is what I mean by letting go, but making sure that you have a plan for yourself. Making sure that at the end of the day, I done wrote down my goals, 1 through 10, 1 through 20, 8 through Z, whatever it is, however you move. And I don't let up until I get done with it. I'm applying pressure because heavy on, who gonna cover for me? Nobody. I feel like I'm my biggest cheerleader. My husband like to say it's him. No, I am Tamika's biggest advocate. I am my biggest cheerleader. Are there people rooting for me? Heck yeah. But at the end of the day, can I do something that my husband doesn't like, or my children don't like, or my friend or my job don't like, and they may have this expectation of me that I don't know, but it's also not my job to live up to that. So letting go of letting me down at some point, letting go of allowing people to play in my face at some point, letting go of labels that people put on me that ain't mine, right? And I think other people should too. I feel like we as people get too caught up in what we see on social media while we're here, right? You should, if you, I don't let my 13-year-old get on social media, not because I'm trying to protect him from the world per se. We all can't filter through what we see. Like, we see it and we like, oh, we ain't gonna make it a thing, or we know it's not realistic. But some of that stuff is dropping things into your spirit. So now you don't set these unrealistic expectations of yourself, where you feel like you gotta live up to a certain expectation. And them people don't even be real, for real. Like, some of the things, maybe some are skits, some is just putting on, and maybe they about whatever life that is, but that don't mean that's your path. So just be mindful of what you allow in your space, in your mental space, your physical space, your emotional space, and you don't let nobody label you in a way that you are now looking at yourself like, oh, is that, dang, that is me. And really it's not, right? And so sometimes people project. You got to be able to decipher that. So that's when me as a person, I tell a lot of people, it got to make sense. So sit with yourself. Sometimes we just got to take a minute and sit with ourselves. I sit in my car every day for a few minutes just to recollect. So rather it's first thing in the morning after I drop my kids off to school, or I pull up in the driveway to come home from training or a job or shopping, whatever I'm doing, I sit in my car for a few minutes just to unwind or reset. Whatever it is I feel like I need to do in that moment for me. Not for my young ones, not for my adult children, not for my husband, not for my homegirls, not for work, not for nothing. I sit in my car and woosah every day. At least once, and I want to say it's probably 2 or 3 times, but at least once a day I do it. Before I jump out the car and go to my destination, I say a prayer in my car. That's my place of prayer. And even if I'm not praying, just till you got it. We got this. Don't even worry about it. Don't. Somebody may have something to say, but don't make that your problem. I'm responsible for my life, and you're responsible for yours. So we just got to really set the pace, set the tone for ourselves, and not get so caught up in what the world wants out of us. Why conform if that ain't really what you want to do? You know what I'm saying? So you have to make sure you set the stage for you, and you walk on that stage. You boss up on that stage. Like, if people are uncomfortable because you step in the room, that's on them. As long as you're not doing things to offend, and that's just checking in and being logical, doing self-checks. Like, am I showing up how I want to show up? So if somebody tell me they got a problem with how I show up, I've already checked with me. Knowing that I ain't, okay. What I did, why you feel like that? Did I say something? Oh, my quietness made you uncomfortable, but why? And for me, sometimes that is the case with me because I'm quiet and I may have a resting bee face, right? But I'm observant, so I need to see what's going on. I need to check the temperature in the room because my homegirl may not be on that. My kids may not be on that. My husband is usually standing guard because that's who he is. But just in case, like, I can hear and I can see, so I'm watching. And then I may tap in. I try to make sure now that I come in lighter, meaning that if something's bothering me, I leave it in that compartment. Okay, let's put this in this box over here real quick. And I pick it back up when I come back in. Or now I'm more conscious of saying, Lord, I lay this at your feet. I can't. It's too heavy. I'm going to go ahead and drop this over here with you. And if you need me to come and address it later, we can. But I know you got it. I'm going to go ahead and go about my day. So that when I come in the room, I'm not heavy with my burden so that I come off a certain way. Letting go all the extra baggage. Letting go of how people try to make you feel like it's a thing when it's not a thing. It's so much I could talk about. I lost some friendships that I had for like 20 something years. And the therapist said today, if you still friends with a group of people, I'm going to drop this and then I'm going to go. If you are still friends with a group of people from like 3rd grade, we big grown now, right? I've been out of high school for over 20 something years. So if you are still cool with a group of people from 3rd grade, Not onesie twosies. Hear me out. A group, right? Meaning like 4 or 5 people, and y'all still having them same conversations. Something different, because you should have elevated. Unless all of y'all bossed up, you have outgrown somebody. You should outgrown spaces, because right, we all got a level of elevation to get to, if you on that. So I remember people saying, "What you mean? Y'all ain't friends no more? What you mean?" Like, and it's no shots to the ladies, because they're genuinely good people in their separate spaces. We can outgrow each other. And I think one of them I held dearest to my heart, because I met her when I came to Broward County, right? So it was like agreeing to let it go. Like, hey, we clearly outgrown this friendship and it's cool. That don't mean I don't respect you as a person. That don't mean you a bad person, I'm a bad person. We just not on this ride together no more. Like, you in a different place in life and so am I. Cause we both may be here. And I ain't watering me down for you. You ain't watering you down for me. But I, for some reason, had such a level of peace with it that it was just like, dang, do I just be letting people go? Because I do remember somebody else saying donkey years ago that I make it seem like people are dispensable. And no, that's not what it is. And we're actually cool today. But it's more like I got so many other things on my plate. I can't worry about showing up for you if I can't show up for me. And if showing up for you makes me water myself down or do something differently that ain't necessarily positive for me, we might have to disengage. And that applies to everybody though, right? That applies to family, friends, foe, relationships, stuff like that. Now, I just believe you got to be true to yourself at the end of the day. Now, if you know you want that BS and you're a terrible person, this does not apply. And that's why I say you got to really dig in deep and check with yourself, because you could tell me you're a great person, but you should know if you're full of crap on the inside. I can genuinely say that I am genuinely a good person. Now, can I be a bit much? Absolutely. We all got a little drama in us. But my intent is always pure. My intent is never of evil or to do bad to anyone, even when they have wronged me. And I've even gotten to a place in my life where I ain't even at matching energy. I'm just going to withdraw me, because I know that's the biggest loss, in my opinion. If you've experienced me in the way of a relationship, and a friendship and relationship can mean friends, family, romantic relationships, whatever relationship, right? They come in different spans, right? If you experience me and I withdrew myself, it's a loss. You can debate me, but that's how I feel, right? And so I ain't gonna give you too much today, but thanks for joining Tam Unfiltered. Check in with me. You put on your notifications, follow, subscribe, tell a friend, share with others. If you have something you want me to talk about, message me on it. You just gonna get what you get when I show up. Yeah. So today was letting go. And that's whatever you want to let go of, right? And that's my spiel and my feeling for today. Making sure you don't let nobody trick you off of who you are. Make sure you show up for you, because who gonna cover for you? Like, literally think about it. For me, man, not saying nobody can't come, you know what I'm saying, tippy toe in my shoes, but how I stick and move on a day-to-day and everything I do and how I show up, I don't expect nobody to cover me for me, because most people are like, oh, you do too much, or oh, I wouldn't be doing that. You like, that's literally a thing. So give yourself grace and make sure you're being the best version of yourself, because we don't get a repeat on this, right? We may come back in a different form, but a repeat in who we are right this minute, you don't get a repeat. It's people wishing they had more time. And so I'm making sure I use mine wisely, unapologetically, authentically, day to day. Every second I take a breath, I'm grateful for it. And I'm trying to do my big one every time I get a chance. So come back, holla at your girl, tap in with me. We're gonna get this thing together, y'all. Thanks for joining.